It's been the Trey Lance show so far. Brock Purdy could take the spotlight, but right now, I feel like Lance hijacked it. I don't think the team wanted him to have the spotlight, but it's his because of the work he did independently. No direction from the 49ers. Kyle Shanahan said it. This was Trey Lance's decision. He found Jeff Christensen. Not sure how. Made a bunch of improvements, came back, and now he's a different player. Debo said it today. Kittle said it in the past. Kyle said it too. So should we get like specific in how Trey Lance has improved? I think you've seen some of it.
Yeah, most definitely. At least from what I'm seeing. Well, first of all, I mean, we can talk about the leg bend thing. You were all over that. That is so different. That is very clear. But to me, the biggest thing is the eye level and watching him stay at one eye level as he backtracks. So when he's in the middle of his drop, what he would do before is he would go, and as he loads, he would dip down, and then naturally as you throw and go to your front foot, you're raising. So his eye level was changing 3 times in one motion, which is really hard to stay accurate when you're looking like a bobblehead out there. A lot of quarterback coaches talk about it. What I'm seeing,
we saw that in his North Dakota State film. He did that.
Oh, it's everywhere. It was all over the place.
It's hard to hit. It's impossible to hit that way.
Yeah,
it's a baseball thing. Throwing it and hitting, you don't want to be moving your head. It only makes it harder.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course. It's like the quarterbacks in the offseason that wear those glasses that flicker. That's basically what your head's doing.
You're throwing to a target. You're trying to hit a target. You need to keep your eyes still. That's the step one.
Very, very simple. And what he's doing now is he's dropping back at one level, and as he loads to throw, he's staying at that level. Now, every quarterback is going to raise naturally as you're going forward. That's just what happens, but he's now staying at that one eye level all the way through to the end. So to me, that is the biggest area of improvement. But I got to say, the highlights came out today from the 49ers. Shout out to them for actually doing some awesome.
They actually put highlights out from practice?
They did. They actually did. And Trey Lance threw there was 3 Trey Lance throws that were darts. I'm not seeing a wobble, Grant. You tell me, is the wobble gone? Was that a finger? Was that because of the finger?
To me, I'm not going to make it that clear cut. Like, he's improving.
For sure.
He doesn't throw the same way every time. He's been doing this for like 90 days.
Yep.
So he's going to be working. I would assume he's going to be working with Jeff Christensen the rest of his career because it's working.
Probably. Yeah.
But he's at the beginning of the process, and he's made big strides, and he will continue to make them. But there are some throws where you're like, a little bit of a wobble. But it's like, I still like him, and I still think you're going to see a dramatic uptick in his completion percentage because his short throw. This is what I see. And Debo said it too. Debo said he used to throw those short passes really hard. When he was trying to take the job from Jimmy as a rookie, everyone was like, man, he's getting a lot. There are a lot of drops, but look at how hard he's throwing these slants. And I think he does. It's not that I think. I see it. You've seen it. We've all seen it. He doesn't do that anymore. Debo said it. He doesn't do that anymore. He has touch. He has a much quicker release. He's not throwing as hard as he can on every throw. He's using his wrist. You know what I mean? He's not just an arm thrower anymore. He looks more like a body thrower. You don't hear about arm fatigue. This is all the stuff he needed to do. He got started on it 2 years late. I blame the 49ers. They should have known about Jeff Christensen. Jimmy's in the freaking building. Ask him.
Yep.
He's right there. That's Jimmy's guy. I can't wait for Trey Lance to get put in front of a podium so I can ask Trey, how did you find Jeff Christensen? Tell me. Will he tell me? He might not. And if he doesn't, I'll ask Jeff because Jeff followed me on Twitter. Oh, yes, he did. Jeff, how did this happen? Don't let Kyle take credit. He already washed his hands. He took a shot at Jeff. Did you hear that yesterday? I asked him.
Yeah, he did.
The work that Trey did with Jeff. And he's like, all quarterbacks do this. Thanks.
And we don't dictate where they go. Yeah, you did. Yes, you did. You absolutely dictated. Here's the other thing too. Well, the Jeff Christensen thing, I pretty just in talking to the old coaches, I'll just say that. I won't say who, whatever. Anybody who's been following me would know who I probably talked to, but in talking to them, it was all done through the rehab process. He worked with Mahomes' strength and conditioning coach, who you can see on the quarterback show if anybody watched that. Worked with him through his rehab. Naturally, those guys are close with Jeff Christensen. They meet, they work together through the rehab process. They enjoy working together. They continue working together. I think it was that simple. But I will say this. The other thing I noticed from the videos that you had posted today, to me, his throwing motion looked more compact than Sam Darnold's.
I was thinking that too. Like what I see now is with Trey, and in the past he would dip the ball below his waist when he would throw the ball. I think Justin Fields does the same thing. Now he's much more like Jimmy, where the ball is here, up and out. And I'm looking at Darnold like he has much more of a lower. He has a longer release. Straight up, it's way loopier. Yes.
But what's funny is you wouldn't think that about Darnold until you kind of see it side by side. It's not like you look at Darnold and go, oh man, those mechanics are wonky, or he's got a loopy release or a slow release. You don't think that, but just side by side, I was like, really? I mean, that's quicker than Darnold. That's a big change. That's a big upgrade. Now, can you duplicate it a million times over? We'll see. But for right now, it looked pretty good to me.
And I did the little same throwing motion meme. Remember when I did that for Justin Fields and Cardale Jones? People got mad.
Yeah.
It like went viral. People were so mad, but I thought that was funny. So I did it for Jimmy and Trey, and I think you can kind of see what Jeff Christensen coaches, like the way he teaches quarterbacks to separate their hands at the beginning of the delivery. It looks like Trey is trying to ingrain what Jimmy ingrained a long time ago. And I wonder if Trey was sitting in those meetings looking at Jimmy being like, man, I'd love to have that release, man. Like, who taught you that?
And why wouldn't you want to? I mean, we can say what we want about Jimmy, but if you just look at him mechanically, it is clean as clean can be.
Where did you learn that? How do you do that? Can I learn that? Like, teach me. And what I think is kind of cool about Jimmy is he never was threatened by Trey. From all accounts, they got along. They are friends. Like, I don't know where Kyle stands with these guys, but it seems like Jimmy wasn't threatened by Trey. And on the way out, he did Trey a solid and was like, look, you need to go to this coach. I'm assuming that. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's Jimmy's guy. I don't know.
It is his guy. No doubt about it.
Let's see what the super chats have to say about the matter. Niners Daddy says quarterback one isn't set. Trey Lance balling out today, puts a lot of pressure on Purdy tomorrow, coming off an injury. What happens if Purdy doesn't play well?
Oh, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that, 49ers Daddy. But I don't know. I'm not saying the door's completely closed, but to me, it all comes down to Purdy. What does Purdy do? If Purdy's not healthy or Purdy just looks awful, sure, Trey Lance will be the starter. But anything outside of that, I just don't see how Trey Lance can leapfrog Purdy for the starting position. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I think it's going to be really tough for that to happen other than what I just said.
Yeah, absolutely. Wave 9 says, by no means is Lance Mahomes, but even Mahomes throws wobbles in practice great. They're doing a bit bait and switch with Trey and Brock. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's hard to knock Trey right now. And it's funny, like people that kept saying, man, he can't, his delivery's too long. He throws too hard. He can't hit the layups. He dedicates his entire offseason to working on those things. He makes improvements. And you hear crickets from those people. Like, if I was the kind of
what you hear is, he's passing up the long throws now. He should be throwing it.
Or let's see if it translates to real games. Let's see if it translates.
Oh my God.
I mean, I'm very critical of players too, but when they address the things that I'm critical of, I always give them credit. Always. You have to. Otherwise, you're not intellectually dishonest, disingenuous, and there's no reason for people to pay attention to you anymore. Because you obviously are detached from reality, and you have a narrative you want to prove right. You're not there to observe reality, that you're there to twist it to your narrative. That's not fun.
I mean, if anybody wants to go check out the Baltimore Ravens post on Lamar Jackson and his throw to OBJ today, I mean, talk about a wobble. That thing was all over the place, but guess what? It was complete and it was a big gain. So what does it matter if the ball is wobbly? I don't think I think that was always way overblown, but that seems to be rectified for the most part as well. So
rectification is always a good thing.